Please.
We are going to start again, please, guys. And I'm going to share the slides now since I'm no longer host. Coach, please
let me
help
make
us.
you let me make you host. Let me make you host. Let me make you host, Tola.
Can the recording still go on?
I think so. It's just that I'm seeing two portfolio. That's why I'm a bit confused.
Yeah, that's me. That's me. I'm one and you're one.
So how do we? Okay, I've made you.
I think stay host, coach. Stay host. I'll just share my screen.
Wait. Let me try change host so that in case I'm go and do something, it doesn't shift. Can I leave it like that?
No, even if you go and do something, just leave your screen. Just leave your screen.
Just put on the leave your screen on.
Yeah, just leave your screen.
Okay, it's on. Okay.
You start recording. You can step aside.
It's recording now, so just leave your screen for us, and then
all right, good.
We can use it.
All right, good.
Okay, now let's just assume that all of that did not happen. So, fresh start. Let me share my screen. You cannot share screen while other pass. Okay. Sam, please stop sharing your screen. Sam, please stop sharing your screen. No. Okay. Okay, can we all see my screen?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this month's book review. The book that we're reviewing this month is Leaving the Tarmac, Buying a Bank in Africa by AIG Imogwede. So let's welcome our presenting team. We have Adebola Bamdili, Omolola, Samuel Otabo, and myself. So let's get started. Sam is starting.
Okay. All right. Good evening, everyone. My name is Samuel Ademi. So I'll be taking the chapter 1 and chapter 2. So just to be quick with everything, so I'll read the chapter 1, 3 points. So the first point, the chapter 1 topic is entrepreneurial juice. The first point is God endow each of us with different skills and talents, and you have to pray. You have to pray that you recognize them, improve them, and work on them to the best of your ability. Sorry, the distraction of the voice.
Sorry, if you have noise around you, mute yourself, please. Go ahead, Sam.
All right. So the second point of chapter 1. Second point, please. Okay, have a solution mindset with a high level of responsibility, and use the opportunity to build high level contact within the industry you find yourself. Third point. And the third point is be customer conscious in business so that you can always look for a way to serve them better. All right. So in the chapter 1 of Entrepreneurial Juice, one of the things that the author able to understand and the culture that was built in terms of investing into a business like buying a bank is the culture is to depend on the Godfather. So in the Godfather are people that that has the what they call it that are the big boys of when it comes to dropping millions into investment. So because of that, the author realized that it needs to depend on the God factor. So that's why I picked that point. He said we need to discover the skills and the talent that God has given to us, and we need to pray about them, recognize them, and also work on them. So which is very, very important as a person in a company or whatsoever you find yourself. So all you need to do is just for you to pray about the ability God has given to you. Like our coach, Paul Fo, he's into sales. Is one of his ability that not only sales, he has the energy sales, electrical, what do they call it? This electric energy when it comes to sales. So so
Electrifying.
electrifying.
Oh
So
my
when it comes to
God.
sales, when it comes to sales, so we have to pray about it. Also, we have to also discover it. We have to improve it. And also one of the things is also talked about is being customer conscious. So in terms of in anything you are doing, no matter how what our coach do, is always customer conscious in anything he's doing. And the same thing that's in everything we are doing when it comes to business. And what the author is trying to let us know that we have to be customer conscious anytime we are starting the business, or we want to create a product, or we want to create any services, so that we can look for a better way to serve them, which is very, very important. Because you can't just say you would like a product and you want to sell the product. You have to know that, is this what the market is selling? Is it what the market needs at the moment? All right, so I'll move to chapter 2. The chapter 2 is buying the bank. Buying the bank. All right, so the buying the bank is an action word. So it has the entrepreneur juice, and also buying the bank is taking an action in buying the bank. So I'll read, like I did in chapter 1. I read the 3 points. In achieving your goal or vision, always be prepared not to compromise. The second point. The ability to sustain the change required to turn around a distressed bank depends more on the quality of its leadership and the strength of its values than the expertise of the management consultant who engage to try and put things right. Third point. The importance of bosses that will help you develop leadership skills through mentoring and exposing to necessary business, authority, and government will play a major role in achieving your dream and vision. All right, so if you look at this point, the key word I want to bring out of this is compromise and leadership. So in taking action, you have to have it in the back of your mind as a business person. Maybe you're into finance, maybe you're a rector, you're in any kind of business. You must have the mindset of, I know they compromise. Like, I know they agree for anybody this year. So it's the same thing that I know they I know they compromise. So you have to have that back at the back of your mindset, at your mind, that I'm not compromising. So maybe you have to even craft a frame in your house that you're not compromising. And also in leadership, I was telling someone, I said one of the things about reason why the women are no more protected in this country is because most women are focusing on feminism, but they are not taught of the leadership role. If you are being taught of the leadership role, they think like a leader. And it's the same thing that in business, once you find yourself in a company, so you have to look up at the boss. You have to look up at what they are doing. You have to look at is this person, is he leadership conscious? So this exposes us with every necessary skills to in terms of managing the staff, in terms of managing major problems in achieving your goal. All right, thank you very much. I'll pass the next chapter to the person that is taking it next. Thank you very much.
Okay, I'll be taking chapter 4 and chapter 5. So chapter 4 is the business model. So Sam was talking about don't compromise. So when it comes to our business proposition, unique selling proposition, we need to not compromise. Like, okay, what is your unique selling proposition in the market? Yeah, you are a realtor, but what makes you different from every other realtor? Yeah, you are a service provider, but what makes you different from every other service provider delivering the same service that you deliver out there? So you need to know your strengths, what separates you from others, and then know your unique selling proposition or create one. So if you don't know your
can I
unique
just
selling
add something
proposition,
quickly to that off
yeah,
the back of the book about knowing your unique selling proposition, how it relates sometimes to the book, He said that when they came into the market, the way marketers were marketing banks were, and besides the fact that they were not the top 10, top 20, top 50 in the market, so nobody knew them. So when he said, can you go back to the beginning of your slide when he said your unique selling proposition. They created a unique selling proposition in that they were now going into companies and consulting for companies, looking at the gaps in those companies. As a consultant for those companies, like a business consultant, companies began to now give them accounts to open. That was the unique selling proposition that they used. While other banks were doing a lot of big adverts, they didn't have the money for those big adverts. They were going into companies as consultants, you know, helping them, giving them ideas on FX and all those type of things. So they were started to open accounts for them. That was their unique selling proposition at the start. And it can be very overwhelming knowing that they entered an industry that was already saturated. Some of you may be here, you have entered an industry that's already saturated, as it were. So you have to force yourself to come up with a way whereby you can stand out in the industry like a unique selling proposition. Somebody once said that if you cannot win in a category that's already established, you can create a subcategory for yourself. I'll give an example. All these skit makers, they are comedians, but they knew that they could not win Basket Mouth or they could not win Alibaba in the open comedy stage, in the big stages. What did they do? They formed a subcategory, which is skit making, and they began to, you know, mount pressure. And then now the skit makers are even making more impact than the older comedians. In fact, the older comedians have now turned into skit makers. The skit makers now are even forming a music comedy category. If you are noticing, that boy that sang Umbrella, all of you know that song. Oh my Cinderella. All of you know that song. Asamina, and another song. That boy has created a music.
Yeah.
Now the stars are even afraid of him. He's not just a skit maker now. He has an audience and is leveraging that audience with a great product called a very good song. So if you are not the leader of the category, you can create a subcategory in the industry. I just said I should chip that in as we go along.
Yeah. So now that, okay, you've created your unique selling proposition, you now need to, support your clients. Yeah, you've created a unique selling proposition and you've gotten the clients. So you now need to know how to support them. Most people are good at, you've been able to make them aware of you, you've been able to sell to them. But then when it comes to delivering your service, or when it comes to upselling them, having them refer you to others, we get a little light-handed in that. So we want to be consistent throughout the customer journey. So after you've done your unique selling proposition, you've gotten the awareness of people, you also want to make it like, how do you sell to them? Make it easy, right? Make it easy to sell to them, make it easy to deliver your services and your products, make it easy to sell again to them, make it easy for them to refer others to you, so that like you are consistent throughout the customer journey. Like, don't be heavy-handed at the beginning and then you now go light towards the end. So just be consistent, like deliver consistent customer service throughout the customer journey. So I'll go into chapter 5, which is the challenge. So it says that maintain excellent relations with important people in your industry. So there's a saying that says your network is your net worth. So there is a group I'm in that if we have any issues, we just go there and we just drop it there. And before you know it, we start getting solutions. We can go there and say, oh, I need so person. And before you know it, somebody has recommended someone. So like having relationships around you in your industry, is it with your coaches, is it with your peers, that you know that, you can go there, you can ask questions, you can ask for advice, you can ask for good counsel, you can ask for recommendation. Like these things, information will take you to places that even your legs cannot just quickly reach. Information will take you there. So set clear goals and break them down, and then now tackle them after you've broken them down. So when we set our goals, we need to also be aware that, we cannot just set the goals and just look at them. We need to set our goals, then break them down, and then start tackling it week by week, day by day, so that at the end of the day, when we've done our tasks like daily, they compound to help us achieve our goals. So do your part and then let God do the rest. So I saw a post by Chioma Ifeanyi where she said, oh, people are always saying that God should do this, God should do that, and they don't do their part. So she said, like, when you go into a project, you want to start something, like list out the part that you know that, okay, this is my part I need to do, and list out God's part and be like, okay, go and do your part and say, God, this is your part, do it. So like, do your part and leave the rest to God. So I'm going to hand over to Adebola, who is taking chapter 6 and 7. Adebola.
Yeah, thank you, Tola. Good evening, everybody. So I'm reviewing chapter 6, and the topic says a vision for transformation, mission impossible. The next slide, please. So I'll read a part of the point and then give a brief explanation. So it says a sustainable organization must be built around something more than talented or credible leaders. Otherwise, the story will only survive the tenure of its organizations, of its leaders. So the author shared the story of how they were able to get a loan based on his credibility and that of his partner. So he said that as much as that was good, they knew that there's a need to do more, because an organization that is built around its leaders will only last as long as the leaders are still in existence. So an organization must be built for something that will last, with or without the funders. So he said that will happen when the organization is built around vision and values. So as business owners, we must have that commitment to build our organization beyond us, so that whether we are there or we're not there, the business will still be in existence. The next slide is point number 2. It says have a commitment to excellence, and this means we must go beyond the ordinary. We must never settle for mediocrity. We must never settle for less. We must have that commitment to being exceptional. You know, he talked about setting a standard for what it means to be exceptional, and never losing a sight of commitment to that standard. It won't happen suddenly, and it won't come easily, but there must be that willingness to give all it takes to be committed to excellence. Then point number 3 says, the next slide, please. Any organization that wants to prosper needs to provide its customer with rapid service delivery, reliability, accuracy, and value for money through efficient processes. And I remember there was a time Coach talked about Amazon, and now they've been able to provide amazing customer experience. So as business owners for organizations, we must be client focused. We must prioritize clients' needs. You must be focused on giving them the best. The author mentioned it, and he said over time the business started doing well because they were so concerned about giving their clients the best. And I think we can leverage on technology to make this a possibility. So just be committed to providing an amazing customer experience. So that will be that for chapter 6. Let's quickly move to chapter 7. So I'm going to read all the points, and then I will give a brief explanation of all the points. So the topic says finding and developing the best people. So I'm going to read all the points. The next slide, please. So number 1, an organization that wants to achieve long-term success must be able to attract, develop, motivate, and retain the very best people. The next slide, please. Okay, so number 2, employers need to provide the right organizational structure to nurture employees, and the appropriate system, policies, and culture to encourage and support them. Then point number 3, make the organization a great place for employees to work. People respond well to employers who are fair to them and who demonstrate that they care about the long-term welfare. So employees are the core of the organization, and an organization cannot grow without the input of the team members. So I think the first thing is to get the right people with the skill required and then we should create a plan to bring out the best in them. The author mentioned here that there must be a culture to manage people's talent, and then making the organization a great place for employees, allow them to grow, support them, and encourage them. And lastly, I would say that employees should go all the way. People will go all the way when they know that the employers care about their welfare. That will be all from my end. Thank you.
All right. Good evening. Thank you so much, Adebola. All right. My name is Nana Bamdili Michael, and I will be reviewing chapter 9 and chapter 10. Okay. All right. Okay, let me read the point. The title of this thing is the chapter is Reaching 25 billion naira. Okay, let me read the point, then I will give an explanation as regards to it. Never get discouraged when you were turned down first. Okay, Access Bank offer was rejected first before accepted. Okay, next slide. When you set a goal, develop a plan to achieve them. Okay, then the next one. Core values and vision of your business needs to be effectively communicated. Okay, so I'll start by saying that the visionary had we could project and he knew what he wanted, and as a result of that, they go for it with everything that they had. Okay, as at this point, the CBN gave an information that the minimum requirement, the capitalization requirement for every bank to be consolidated is 25 billion naira. And as at that time, Access Bank the worth was just 8 billion naira. And they had an ultimatum of 1 month to get the money so that they can start on the fund operation. Okay, and it was a task that was very difficult. But because of the passion, because of the energy, because of the tenacity and the vision of the visionary, it was not relentless, and they went for it to get the 25 million naira. And one of the things that they do that was very strategic, I think if we can adopt it in our business, is going to help us. Okay, so at first they went to see IBT. IBT was an investment bank that they think they can generate the 25 billion naira, but they turned their offer down, and they had to come to the table and look for how the money will be generated with all the board. So, and they adopted a strategy. One of the strategy that they adopted was the public offer of shares. For public offer of shares price at 2.9 kobo. 2.9 naira, 2.90 naira. It was a share that could not be is something that everybody can afford. Even the market woman can afford it. The corporate organizations can afford it. Everybody can afford it, man. This made them to generate a lot of investors that was coming to trade with the bank, and as a result of that, we're able to raise some substantial amount of money from that offer, from that initiative. And another strategy that they embarked on too was they embarked on marketing campaign. Okay, and the marketing campaign includes the campaign for the high network of people. They go into the market for market women, professional trade groups. They also went for investors of every side, and they also launched an award-winning bullet. Okay, train television advert, and sent hundreds of thousands of posters day by day. So after as a result of this campaign, they were able to generate 12 billion naira added to the 8 billion naira that they have before. And the last thing that they adopted was they merged with other banks, and that formed the basis and the model for the integrations of the banks that we're having in the banking system today. Access Bank were the one that formed the basis and the model for the integration. So what am I going to say in essence is that you have goals that you have set. You have something that you have set for this month. When we're having our setting a goal for this month, you have a goal for quarterly, you have for the year. So what are the plans that has been developed? If, for example, now, if the banks were thinking that, okay, 25 billion naira is something that is too difficult for us to present within the shortest time that we are given, but they didn't look at the money. Rather, they came and they made up their mind that this is something that is achievable. This is something I'm going to do. So set a plan. Look at, by the time you are achieving those plans, then automatically you will definitely achieve the goals and everything that you have set to achieve. So the core value of the bank was communicated to everybody, and everybody was ready to carry the visions of the company, of the bank. Okay, so next slide. The next one, discipline helps you achieve your work fast, know your target audience. And the next one is please go to the next one. Experience is the best teacher. What does not destroy you will make you stronger. Okay, at this point, the policy was because they discovered that the 25 billion naira was a kind of a contribution to economic growth. So the CBN came with another policy again, and they raised it to 133 billion naira this time around. Of course, something if they could achieve, and that is one thing about goals. If you can achieve one, you will be fired up within you to achieve another one. So they believe that if they could achieve the 25 billion naira within a shortest time, 133 billion naira should not be something that they couldn't achieve. And of course, they develop another strategy. Okay, and that is one thing I want us to learn. At any point of all phases of our business that you are having a phases, the one that you have used before might not be applicable to the solution of the next phase. So you have to develop another strategy for you to meet up with the new challenge, and that is what they do. So at this point now, what they did was they had an ambition of geographical expansions beyond Nigeria, okay, and as well as organic expansion across the country, and to become truly national bank. So as a result of that, the operations of operating within the Nigeria system differ. So they come up with another operations, and that makes them to achieve the what they wanted to do. So I'm leaving you with this. The experience is the best teacher. What does not destroy you makes you stronger. So they were not being discouraged by the informations or by the policies that was being given by the CBN, but rather they build on their strength and they achieve whatever they want to achieve today. So I believe this will help us. So I'll leave you to the next presenter to continue from here. Thank you so much.
Very powerful, my brother. I really appreciate it. This is very, very insightful. Okay, so let me just make a jest. First of all, Mr. My brother, this $132 billion you're talking about. Anyways, so now let me just give us a. Can you hear me clearly? Can you hear me clearly?
Yes.
Great. So now, I remember Tola talking about problem solving. I remember Sister Samuel talking about problem solving. I remember Tola talking about your level of your network determines your net worth. You see, those are very powerful tips. Those are very, very powerful insight. It is beyond just imaginable. So if you're here, I would like you to just listen effectively, because now this chapter 11 and 12 is going to cause a mighty change in you. So next slide, please. So now this is talking about good governance and risk management. Now, you see, if you look here, it said the story of, so wherever you see bank, just put your business there. So I want everybody to follow me. Wherever you see bank, put your business there, right? So the story of a successful bank, the story of a successful real estate industry or business is about successful risk management. Now, let's just break it down. What exactly is risk management? The simple term is risk management is being smart and careful in running a business. You see, it's being smart and careful in running a business. Because next slide, please. Risk, you cannot necessarily avoid risk. Risk avoidance is not necessarily an option. Pardon me, please. Now, it's not necessarily an option. The biggest and the most respected bank today, we all started from humble entrepreneurial beginning, like GTB Bank, Stanbic, ITC Bank, name all the banks you can think of, First Bank and the like. They all started off with humble beginnings. You see, so I'm going to be breaking down what risk management necessarily mean in this context. So now risk management for your business, for your aviation business, for your service providing business, your catering business. This basically means how do you put this to help your business grow? How did they use it for the bank that helped them grow to this certain level? Is first of all, they were able to identify the risk. They were able to make what's it called now? Smart choices. They stayed updated in the market. You see, one of the fault of Nokia that we know today, one of the fault of so many businesses is because they refuse to stay updated on the market trend. You see, so protecting the business. If you look down here now, if you follow me now, you see, they said these people who built GTB, Stanbic IBTC Bank, they took responsibility for establishing the foundation, and it has allowed the business to outlive them. Now, I did a survey and I found out that many businesses in Nigeria don't outlive minimum of 5 years. You know, for the very 0 to 3 years, 0 to what's it called now? 0 to 5 years. So 0 to 5 years. You find out that they might be doing a little bit well, and many of them are struggling. The max or the highest many businesses go through is 10 years. That is the max I've seen so many businesses go through. And I've seen that one of the fault there is, I read through it and I went through Google and I checked and I saw the same thing. Poor management system, poor management system, poor management system. So there's something going on which is very, very wrong. Please, next slide, please. This set of people, they grew their business to the point that it outlived them. Next slide, please. It outlived them. Fella, please, next slide. Hello? Can you hear me? Hello?
We can hear you.
Tola, please, next slide, please.
I can hear you.
Okay, so that's over here. I'll just continue. So, they were able to factor so many. They were able to factor so many problems, you know, because the business outlived them. I mean, GTB Bank is only God knows how long. Stanbic IBTC Bank, and